Welcome to Book Solid, the home service growth podcast. Helping service businesses capture more calls, respond faster to leads, and turn more opportunities into book jobs.
Your office team is spending 10 minutes chasing a caller who lives outside your service area. At the same time, a homeowner 5 minutes away is waiting for a callback, and your competitor is about to answer. That is not just a scheduling problem, it is a booking problem. The first caller may be a real customer with a real need, but if your team cannot serve that location, perform that work, or meet the requested timing, every extra minute spent investigating the inquiry creates another minute of waiting for the customer you actually could have booked. Welcome to Booked Solid, the home service growth podcast. If you run a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, roofing, or other home service business, I'm Jeff. Today, we're talking about a simple way to qualify inquiries without making customers feel rejected or slowing your team down. Here is the rule. Check location, service, and timing. Can we serve this address? Do we perform the work the customer needs? Can we offer a realistic appointment time? 3 questions, not a 20-question interrogation, not a complicated software project. You might be thinking, if we ask too many questions, we could scare people away. That concern is valid, but the answer is not to ask nothing and promise everything. The answer is to ask 3 useful questions quickly, then give the customer an honest next step. If all 3 answers are yes, move toward booking. If one answer is unclear, ask for that missing detail. If the inquiry is not a fit, be helpful anyway. Offer an alternative, a referral, or a realistic explanation of what you can and cannot do. The goal is not to reject people faster. It is to stop making good customers wait while your team chases work that was never bookable.
Let's look at location first. Most owners have a service area in their head. They know which towns are close, which neighborhoods take too long to reach, and which jobs are only worthwhile with an extended trip charge. But if that information lives only in the owner's head, it is not a dependable process. One employee says, "We can probably get there." Another says, "We never go that far." The customer receives 2 different answers, and your team spends time resolving a question that should have been answered in seconds. Write down the boundary. Use cities, zip codes, drive time, or a normal zone and an extended zone. Your normal zone might receive standard scheduling. An extended zone might require owner approval, a longer appointment window, or different pricing. Then ask for the service address early, not after 10 minutes of discussing symptoms. Say, "What's the service address so I can check the closest appointment options?" That sounds helpful because it is helpful. If the address is outside your regular route, do not create a dead end. You could say, "That address is outside our normal area, so I don't want to promise a time we cannot keep. Let me check whether we have an extended area option, or I can point you toward a provider closer to you." That protects your schedule without treating the customer like a problem.
The second check is service type. Customers do not always use your company's categories. They may say, "My plumbing is messed up," when the real issue is a water heater. They may ask for electrical work when they need a panel replacement. A roofing customer may report a leak, but the problem could involve flashing, siding, or storm damage. Your team does not need to diagnose the issue over the phone. That can create safety problems and unrealistic expectations. They only need enough information to decide whether the request belongs in your normal work. For plumbing, ask whether it involves a drain, water supply, water heater, or something else. For HVAC, ask whether the system is not heating, not cooling, making noise, or showing another issue. For electrical, ask whether it is a repair, installation, panel concern, or troubleshooting request. For roofing, ask whether the concern is an active leak, missing shingles, storm damage, or a planned replacement. Use the customer's language. No hot water, clogged drain, breaker keeps tripping, and roof leak are often better intake categories than a long list of internal codes. And keep the first pass short. If someone says, "My water heater is leaking," and you serve that address and that type of work, do not make them answer 12 more questions before offering an appointment. The technician can assess the problem. Intake should create the next step, not delay it. The third check is timing. Can you meet the customer's timing honestly? This is where well-intentioned teams often create a second problem. They say, "We'll see what we can do," or "Someone should be out there soon." But soon means different things to different people. If the customer expects a visit in 2 hours and your next opening is tomorrow afternoon, that gap feels like a broken promise. Give real options instead. We can have someone there today between 2 and 4, or tomorrow morning between 8 and 10. If those are the choices, say those choices. If you cannot meet an urgent request, be direct. Our next available visit is tomorrow morning. If you need help sooner, you may want to contact an emergency provider. That may feel like you are giving away the job, but honesty is better than leaving someone waiting with a promise your team cannot keep. Of course, active flooding, fire risk, gas concerns, or other safety issues should follow your existing emergency and dispatch procedures. The fit check should never replace safety guidance. Location, service, and timing. Once you have those answers, the next action becomes much easier.
Think of every inquiry as landing in one of 3 practical groups. First, it is bookable now. The address is inside your area, the work is something you perform, and you have a realistic opening. Offer the appointment and confirm what happens next. Second, it needs one clarification. Maybe the address is incomplete. Maybe the customer says the system is broken but does not know whether it is heating or cooling. Maybe the requested appointment time has not been checked yet. Ask for the missing answer, assign the follow-up, and give it a deadline. Call back sometime is not a system. Confirm the equipment type by 3 o'clock and send the available appointment windows is a system. Third, it is not a fit right now. The address may be too far away, the work may be outside your scope, or the timing may be impossible. The next action could be a referral, an extended area option, or a clear explanation of the next available appointment. A non-fit result should not mean no response. You might say, "We do not currently service that area, so we do not want to keep you waiting. We recommend contacting a provider closer to you." The rule should create a fast conversation, not a fast rejection.
Now, connect this to response speed. Imagine 5 inquiries arrive during a busy morning. 1 is clearly inside your area and needs a service you perform. 1 is outside the area. 1 is vague but probably a fit. 1 wants a time you cannot provide. And 1 is a routine estimate request. Without a fit check, all 5 may sit in the same queue. Your team works through them in order, and the easiest task may get attention before the customer who is ready to book. With the rule, the nearby Bookable-Zone gets an immediate response. The vague request gets one focused question. The timing mismatch gets a real option. The outside area inquiry gets a quick, helpful answer. You are not ranking people by worth. You are matching the next action to the situation. A phone answering service or automated intake tool can collect the first 3 answers, but keep the wording natural. What's the service address? What kind of help do you need? When were you hoping to have someone out? And keep a human option available. Automation should help your team respond faster, not make a confused or upset customer fight through a maze. The follow-up should match the outcome too. A bookable lead gets an appointment confirmation. A clarification lead gets one focused question. A non-fit lead gets a referral or a clear explanation. One generic "we received your request" message is rarely enough.
You can put the first version in place in 20 minutes. Take a page and write 3 words: location, service, timing. Under location, define where you normally go, where you sometimes go, and where you do not go. Under service, list the common customer phrases your team handles and the requests that need another specialist. Under timing, write the appointment windows you can honestly offer for routine work, urgent work, and a full schedule. Then choose the next action for each situation. Book now, ask one question, offer an alternative, refer the customer, or schedule a specific follow-up. Write 3 short sentences your team can use. For a good fit, we can help with that, and our next available window is, for a missing detail, I can check that for you. What is the service address? For a non-fit request, that is outside our regular route, so I don't want to promise a time we cannot keep. Let me check for an alternative. Put the guide where people actually work. Call notes, text templates, web lead instructions, and answering service instructions. Then test it against a few recent missed calls or web inquiries. Did you know the location quickly? Did you understand the service? Did you offer a realistic time? If not, update the guide. It doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to remove guesswork.
There is one trap to avoid. Do not let the rule become an excuse to dismiss customers too quickly. A homeowner may not know the correct service category. An incomplete address may be a simple mistake. Someone asking for immediate service may accept tomorrow morning once they understand the choices. So use the rule to start a better conversation, not to end one automatically. The standard I would give your team is simple. Every inquiry gets a useful next step. That may be an appointment, one clarification question, a realistic time range, a referral, or a clear explanation of what your company can and cannot do. When you make that standard visible, your team responds more consistently, customers get clearer answers, and your best fit opportunities stop waiting behind inquiries that should have been resolved in seconds. The bigger lesson is that growth is not always about creating more demand. Sometimes it comes from making better decisions with the demand you already have. Check the location, check the service, check the timing. If the fit is clear, book it. If one detail is missing, clarify it quickly. If it is not a fit, be useful and close the loop. That is the Bookable-Zone rule. Qualify leads without slowing them down.
If you want more practical ideas like this, download the free guide, 107 Quick Wins for Home Service Businesses at profitpulse.biz. It is built for plumbing, HVAC, electrical, roofing, and other service companies that want to capture more calls, follow up faster, and book more jobs without adding unnecessary complexity or office staff. Again, visit profitpulse.biz. Download 107 Quick Wins and choose one idea to put into practice this week. Thanks for listening to Booked Solid, the Home Service Growth Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, subscribe so you do not miss future episodes about simple systems that help home service companies capture more calls, respond faster, and book more jobs. And if you know another contractor who could benefit from this information, share the show with them. Until next time, keep building systems that turn more calls into booked jobs.